Everyone, it's Emily Fox. Today's video is going to be a very chill video where I share with you some books that I decided to add to my TBR to be read pile because I've been adding an excessive amount as I usually do. This time around, there's a mix of really interesting and fun nonfiction, and then there's a few that are new releases I wasn't aware in viewing the year, so I'm looking forward to reading them later on this year. And then there's a bunch that are kind of random that I don't know a ton, but we're going with vibes. It is what it is. Let's start with the ones that are coming out this year that I'm excited about. Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is going to be the third book in the Children of Time series. This is an adult sci-fi, first contact with aliens. The first book has like giant intelligent spiders. It's great. It's really great. I love book one. Book two, a bit less. I feel like parts were 5 stars, part less so, but still was looking forward to reading it. We didn't know for sure it was coming out. I mentioned that I thought I heard that and people were like, no, it's nowhere. There you go. We can all rest happy because there is going to be a third book. It's coming out 24th of November. And as soon as I get it, I will be reading it, hopefully this year, maybe not, but as soon as I can. I wanted to announce it because I'm very excited that it's coming out. There's another one by an author. I've read one more book by her, and she's coming out with the book in October this year, and it's Station Eternity. She's the same author that wrote 6 Weeks, which I've been recommending because I found the premise super interesting. You have a crew on a spaceship that wake up, everyone has been murdered, they're waking up in like clone bodies, and it means that one of them did it because they're on a spaceship. So if you like that kind of premise, like sci-fi, mystery, thriller, murder mystery, I would recommend that one. The premise was really great. And this one, it seems to be a little bit similar, but it includes aliens. And like they're on a station, and I think someone is also murdering people. So I'm totally okay. We'll be reading this as soon as I can. Also hoping that I will enjoy just as much. I also added Penance to my TBR because I recently read Confession by the same author, and I really enjoyed the premise once again. That one was a teacher that tells her whole class of 13 kids that she knows that 2 of them murdered her daughter, and that's how it starts. And I've heard that this one is just as good. I did not look what it was about. It's a psychological thriller also. That's all I want to know because I feel like these kind of books, you don't want to know anything. So I've heard it's good. I believe it's also a movie, so we'll be reading this very soon. This one sounds just a little weird, but not in a bad way, hopefully. Hollow Kingdom. This one, it's a post-apocalyptic book, which I've started reading again after taking a break of like 4 years because I had read too many in a row. But this one, it's through the eyes of a crow. As soon as I heard that, I added it to my TBR and I refused to hear anything else because I want to go into it not knowing anything else, and I'm hoping for the best. It might be a shit show, let's just say it. It's possible, but I want to try it. That way I can talk about it in a video about like fun premises because it sounds cool and different and unique, you know? Speaking of books that would be great to read during the fall, Tenders of Flesh, which I've also seen that one going around. That one is about cannibalism, I'm pretty sure. Horror books, which I want to add that to my TBR and hopefully read it this year because a lot of the horror books that I've been reading tend to have open endings. I freaking hate those. Like, I hate those so much. And this one, I feel with that topic, it doesn't sound like it will be like that because often it's like, oh, they don't tell you if it's like aliens or a disease, like it's just vague. No, just tell me which one it is. And I mean, if it starts with cannibalism, it should be pretty obvious what's going on. So I'm going to be trying that one this year for sure. I've added a few fantasy to my TBR. I have not been reading fantasy this year. Like, usually it's my #1 category. This year so far it's my 4th one. So I've added a couple that were either mentioned in the Goodreads Choice Award, but I said I wasn't doing that challenge this year, but I guess I still kind of am. The Unbroken. There's also Iron Widow, and now I'm realizing the 3rd one is not on my list. I'll put it on the screen anyway. 3 that I want to read. The Iron Widow, I'm not 100% sure, so let me know if you have read it, how you feel about it, because it's young adult, and I haven't been reading a lot of young adult because they've been more and more miss than hit, so... But I'm still open to it because the reviews are positive. I believe all 3 also contain LGBTQ plus representation, which tend to work more for me, so we'll see how that goes. There's Convenience Store Woman, which that one, I think it's just like a slice of life kind of story where you're following this woman who works in a convenience store. She's been working there for years and years, and everyone around her is not happy for her. They want more for her, like getting married, kids and stuff, and she just is happy continuing that way. So that sounds pretty cool. I have a lot of books that could be added in the whole like hot sad girl, which I feel like it's been Like as soon as I open TikTok, that's what I get recommendations of. I don't know why, because I haven't read any of them. They sound like they will either really work for me or I will absolutely hate them. And I want to try a bunch of them. Maybe I should do a video on this, like reading like 4 or 5 of them in one go and letting you know if the genre works for me, what I like, didn't like, and you can decide if they're worth reading or not. They kind of sound like women that rewatch Fleabag one too many times or something. So we'll see. The first one is more like coming of age, dark academia vibes, but The Idiot, I've been meaning to try something by the author, so that one I might get to it this fall, because again, dark academia during the fall, that seems appealing to me. Disorientation, which you're following a PhD student and she finds out like something really big about whatever she's been working on that changes everything, and I think she's overwhelmed about it. We'll see. Frankly, it's pink, and I'm realizing I don't own many books that are pink, and that sounded fun to me. The topic, not the pink. I mean, I would. This one like is on the dark side for the hot side girl thing. Bunny, apparently it's really strange, kind of horror-y, so I want to try it, and hopefully that works for me. Exciting Times, not working. Once More with Feeling. A bunch of these books. My Year of Relaxation, Aileen, like all of these books, I keep seeing them, so I just added them to my TBR, and we'll try them. We'll see. Also, Certain Hunger, which is giving me vibe of Tender as the Flesh also with that cover, but yeah. Let's go with some nonfiction that sound fun. Some of them are more serious than others. I'm just gonna go randomly. We have Patient Zero, A Curious History of the World's Worst Diseases. Sounds very uplifting. Do you say Quackery? Quackery? A Brief History of the Worst Ways to Cure Everything. If I want a fun nonfiction, you know? The Rise and Reign of the Mammals, which I've read the same author. He wrote a book about dinosaurs. In that one, I learned that chickens are dinosaurs, mini dinosaurs, which is really cool. So hopefully I learned something else in this one. Seems interesting. We have In the Dream House, which is a memoir. I don't read a ton of those, but this one you're following a woman, more like a woman sharing her experience in a abusive lesbian relationship, which I feel like we don't see a lot of representation of that. So I'm curious to check that one out. Doing Harm, the truth about how bad medicine and lazy science leave women dismissed, misdiagnosed, and sick, which I've been reading a lot of books on that topic because I spent 2 years very recently being gaslit. So sparked my interest. This is what, like my 5th or 6th one this year. At the end of the year, I'm planning on doing a video reviewing all the nonfictions that I've read. So I'll let you know within you know, the 10 I will have read, the 2 or 3 that I would recommend checking out. But I have a good feeling about this one. Fuzz, When Nature Breaks the Law, which Mary Roach, I've read a couple of her books and this is her newest release, so I'm looking forward to trying that one. The topic seems to remind me a little bit of, what is it called? Death in Yellowstone? Like people dying stupidly in the park because they didn't like listen to what people were telling them, like touching the water when they shouldn't. But this seems to be from the side of the animals, which I'm curious. Yes, I will read this. There's also Spare Parts, the story of medicine through the history of transplant surgery. Sounds interesting. I don't know if it's going to be funny, but for some reason the cover, it's giving me funny vibes. And like Spare Parts, it sounds funny to me. It might not be. Don't go into it thinking it will be funny. But transplant seems interesting, so we'll try that. The next one, I'm a little confused because the French title and the English one are completely different. The French book came out in 2018, and now in 2022, there's an English version coming out. In Defense of Witches, The Legacy of the Witch Hunts, and Why Women Are Still on Trial. In English, that's the English one. In French, it's Sorcières, la puissance invaincue des femmes, which translates to like witches, the unbeatable power of women. Is it me or is it completely, like it's a completely different vibe, right? I don't know. I'm curious to read about this one. I believe it's about witches, of course, but feminism. I'm always a little cautious when I hear a feminist book including witches because I love witches, but I found that a lot of the ones that I've read that were similar, like I'm thinking The Witches Are Coming, for example, I feel like these feminist books do not go far enough. Like, they could have been published 10 years prior, and it would still have been totally fine, you know? I feel like they're just... So we'll see. I feel like I probably should try to get that one in French to read it, but I'm always interested in reading more about feminism. And then I have the Intersectional Environmentalist, How to Dismantle Systems of Oppression to Protect People and the Planet, which I had been looking into intersectionality because I tried to focus my feminism on that, and I realized that I had never heard anyone mention intersectionality in terms of like environment and like climate change, which I've added that book to my TBR. That sounds interesting. If you know any other book like on that kind of topic, let me know because I'm definitely curious to add that to my TBR. I think it's going to be it for the video because I have a couple more, but I bought them and I want to share them with you when I do my book haul probably next week. So I'm still waiting for one, so the video has to wait. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little chill video. Please let me know if you have read any of the books that I've mentioned. Which one should I put higher on my TBR? Which one should I just remove because they sucked? Definitely always interested in hearing that. And let me know which books you have added to your TBR recently because I want to die with TBR humongous, you know? I feel like I always get people being like, oh, I will never read all those books. It's not a bad thing. Because I would feel way more sad if I finished my TBR. I had no more books to look forward to. That just sounds like the saddest thing ever. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thumbs up, subscribe. I will be putting more videos on the screen that I recommend you check out. And I will see you in a coming one very soon. Bye.